In this lesson, we are going to learn two new CS6 tools that allow us to share objects such as frames, groups, and even interactive elements within the same document or across multiple documents. These two commands allow us to actually link our objects. The first one is called the linked page item. Think of linked items as having a parent-child relationship. If your original or your parent changes, all of your linked objects also change, even if they're in other documents. The source files that I'll be working on are found in the Chapter 4 folder, and they're called Linked Items Original and Linked Items Received. Let's start by sharing an item from one document to another. Let's grab our selection tool, and let's talk about the logo here. Now, if you're wondering why we don't see frames, that's because I am in preview mode, which is this little button here. Its partner is normal mode, and that may be where you are. You can be in either mode, but I am in preview mode, so I get a cleaner view of the document. Alright, we have our Big City Pet Sitters logo selected, and we want to share this, or actually link this, over in the Links Item Received InDesign document that's also opened. How do we do that? Let's do this. Let's go up to the Edit menu, and right here there's a new command called Place and Link. If we click this guy, you're going to see a ribbon open. This is your way of seeing exactly what you have selected and what you intend to link. Let's go over to the Linked Items Received document, and let's click to link our document. You may notice that the item actually disappeared from our ribbon. Now, a couple of things that I did have selected were to create a link and also map styles. We'll talk about mapping styles in just a minute when we actually use the other tool, which is the Content Placer and the Content Dropper tool. But to see this command really work, let's go make a change to our original object. Let's go back over here to Linked Items Original. Let's select our logo. Let's grab my selection tool here and select the logo. And now let's add something to it, such as maybe a drop shadow. I'm going to right click and go down to Effects. And from here, let's just choose our basic drop shadow. Now if I move this panel out of the way a little bit, I can see that I'm getting the default drop shadow in place, and I see that because the preview checkbox is turned on. Okay, good enough. Let's click OK. Now when we go back over to our Linked Items Received document, you'll notice that it didn't take effect right away, but if we select our object, we'll see this little warning sign that says, hey, your linked object has been changed. Would you like to update it? Simply double click right on this icon, and now your linked object is also modified. If you're familiar at all with the way the links panel works, you know that anytime that you place any object into InDesign, it shows up in the links panel. Notice here in this document, it shows us right away that it's linked to another document, and it will tell us where this object is coming from. Okay? So again, to get an object from one document to the other, you simply select the object and then go to the Edit menu, go down to Place and Link. Okay, we'll see that it is active here in our ribbon. We'll go back to the other document. You'll notice that it's also here in the ribbon again, and then to add this item to our document, we'll click and then it disappears from our ribbon. You'll see here that it is now placed in our object. And now let's modify our original one more time. Let's go back over here to the Linked Items Original. We'll make some kind of adjustment. Let's make sure that our object is selected. Right click. You could also go up to the Effects menu to find the effects that I'm finding here by right clicking. And once again, maybe let's just do a drop shadow. Let's click OK. Let's go back over to the linked items. Notice that it didn't take effect right away, but we notice here in the links panel that we have a warning sign. Double click and it updates. Now I'm thinking, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. That doesn't look so good. No problem. We'll go back here. Let's remove the effects. I'll go to Window, open the Effects panel. Our effect is located here. I'm going to just hit the trash can to remove the effect. Close the Effects panel, and let's see what happens in our other document. Same as before. We see a little symbol here that says, oh, something's going on. These don't match. No problem. We'll double click and now our linked object matches our original. Let's take these two guys and move them into place. The linked page item works beautifully, no problem, and it does a great job, especially when you're bringing over one item at a time. But what if you want to bring over a lot of items? And also, what if those items have styles? That's where the content placer and the content dropper tool really come in handy. Let's check it out. Let's go back over to our original document, and now let's think about this. What if we want to get everything else on this document over? Not only that, but we're going to notice that we have some styles. If I click somewhere in Big City Pet Sitting Service in this text here, I'm going to look over in my saved styles, the paragraph styles, and I'm going to see that doc title is applied there. Maybe click here and see that I have a style called body copy. Down here I also have body copy. So we have a few styles. If we click here, we're going to see doc title again. So not only would we like to get all the remaining objects, but maybe copy over the styles as well. Well, if you look right here in the Tools panel, you're going to see a new tool. One's called the Content Collector, and underneath there is called the Content Placer tool. My icons will look a little different than yours because I was using the beta version of the software. Our goal will be this. First, we are going to collect what we want to take over, and then we're going to place it with the Placer tool. So let's make sure that the Content Collector tool is active, and then let's drag a marquee around everything that we want to select. Now our ribbon is kind of taking up a little bit of room, but I think if we drag down far enough that we probably can get everything. And when you let go of the mouse and you look here in the ribbon, you're going to see that we have 10 items selected, and these guys are ready to be moved and placed somewhere else. Great. Let's pop back over to the links item received, and this time we want to switch from the Content Collector tool to the Content Placer tool. Now I'm noticing here that my paw print is still selected, so maybe to prevent any problems with that, maybe we should just deselect really quick. And now we'll just activate our Content Placer tool again, and with our Content Placer tool still active, we're going to notice here that we have Create Link and Map Style selected, and that's good. Just a quick check of the paragraph styles, we don't have any here, so we're actually hoping to bring all of that over. Let's see what happens when we click. Alright, so there we are. Notice our ribbon is now empty, so we'll just close this up. And just like that, all of our linked items were brought over. Very nice. You'll notice in the links panel, we have more linked items, and you'll also notice here in the paragraph styles, all of our styles were brought over as well. With these objects still selected, why don't we grab our selection tool, just kind of move these up into place a little bit, and then deselect. Well, that wraps it up for our lesson on creating shared links, both with the linked page item tool and the new Content Collector and Content Placer tool, which places content from one document to the other and actually creates linked objects. This makes it very handy for keeping everything in sync by creating an original, making your changes to original, and having all of your other files updated very quickly.